I've recently bought a couple of these heucheras. This one's called Lime Marmalade, and this can turn a golden colour in the summer, but it does tend to keep its colour all through the year. When I look out the window and see these heucheras, they really stand out, and they're great if you want to contrast this colour with some darker colours like this Pittosporum and Tom Thumb. Now this is also a great shrub for a bit of winter colour. This in fact gets darker as the season goes on. It can go almost black, and in the spring has these nice lime green leaves that cover the top of the plant. I've also bought a few of these 1 litre heucheras, Cherry Cola. Now this is another nice looking heuchera that can contrast with other colours in the garden. And the great thing about the heucheras is that they are evergreen. They can get a bit tatty in the winter after the growing season has ended, but they'll keep this colour and this foliage right through till spring, where they'll put out a lot of new growth, a lot of nice fresh new growth, and they'll produce some flowers as well. Now the flowers on the heucheras, they're not great, some are better than others. This one doesn't look too bad. There's a flower left on this now and it's November. This plant's still flowering, Salvia Royal Bumble. This was a really small plant when I put this in a few months ago, and it's got these really striking red flowers. It's starting to fade a bit now, but they still look great. Even from a distance, they really stand out, even though they are a bit small now. Next year, I think I'll really see this flourish. We'll have time over the winter to put its roots down and give it a trim back. We should see quite a lot of new flowers that will go through from midsummer right through to the autumn. Here's a really underrated shrub, Mahonia Charity. It's a very prickly shrub as well, so you need to be careful where you plant this. Look at these great flowers. This flowers in November, when most of the other plants, or most of the other shrubs, will be waiting until next year before they put another show on. But if you want some late flowering shrubs, this is a great little recommendation. Nice yellow flowers. I can see the camellia starting to put its new buds on. We'll have a nice show next year, come April. Another tough shrub, Skimmia rubella, and you can see all these buds that this has produced. And come round about March, it'll be full of the white flowers. I actually prefer these red buds to the white flowers that come out later, but again, this is a really decorative shrub right through the winter. Cut back the fuchsias now. These will come back strong next year for another show of fantastic flowers. It's an older variety of heuchera, this. I think it's Palace Purple. Like I said earlier, these can start to look a bit tatty in the winter. You can cut them right back and then they'll put through a nice flush of new growth. But even so, it's evergreen colour through the winter, and if you look out of your window on a cold day, these leaves still look good. Here's another one of those heuchera marmalade, lime marmalade. This is a great plant, this, and it's good when you contrast them with the purple variety. It's just great, these heucheras come in all different types. All the buds are coming out on this white rhododendron. So next year, hopefully around about May time, we'll get a nice selection of flowers on this. This is Trachycarpus, the waggy variety. Look at the size of the leaf on this. Huge leaf size. Really settled in now. Looks healthy. And this carries on growing through the winter. Some of the other palms don't do much over the winter, but this just keeps going. And the best palms you can get. This is still going. I think it's coming to an end soon, and I fear that the frosts that are coming in the next couple of days are going to knock it back. But look at the flowers. Still got flowers on this. If you don't get a frost, I've read this can actually carry on going right through to December, but I think we're due one in the next couple of days, so I think we'll lose them. But this, again, like all the salvias, is a brilliant late flowering plant. Salvia hot lips is coming to an end of its flowering, but it's still having a go. You can still see flowers coming through. Of course, from the spring onwards, this is absolutely packed out with these red and white flowers. I fear it will get caught in the frost that's coming to us in the next couple of days. But these sub-shrubs, these Mexican salvias, they're some of the latest flowering plants you can have in your garden. I love them. Another variety of heuchera there, a 1 litre plant. I think it's called Blondie. And this has these yellow flowers in the growing season. And they still haven't finished. A couple left there on the plant. It's nothing at the moment. It'll put its roots down over the winter, and we should see a nice flush of growth come the spring. Hebe here, Pascal this is called. It's green through the summer, but it goes dark purple in the winter. Not that cold just yet, so we'll see what this does. I think we should get some flowers on this as well in May. New plant this year, we'll let it settle in, see what sort of winter colour we get from it. I bought a couple of plug plants a few months back. This is Salvia, I'm not sure which one this is. I think it's, Salvia Cherry Lips. Now this is a tiny plant to put on loads of growth, and it's even continuing to flower. I think we'll see the best of this next year. Come next spring, I reckon that this is really going to flourish right through the growing season. And look at this, the 5th of November today, and there's still buds coming through. Another one there, another variety of Mexican salvia. It's only a tiny plant, this, only in a little pot. We'll have to repot this into a bigger one. But look at these little purple flowers, still flowering on the 5th of November. I've got a few of these, and I think once I've got them settled in, these are going to be great flowering plants over the next growing season. The Laurel Petalum that I bought in the spring, still looking great, and you can even see the second flush of flowers still on this. I'll need to watch this because the frost is coming. It's hardly till about -5, but I've got this in a pot. If it gets too cold, I think I'll need to bring this into the garage. But it's a fantastic evergreen shrub. Picked up this one a couple of months back. It was in a little 9cm pot. Stopped flowering now, I think, but they call this a Californian fuchsia. It's not actually a fuchsia, it's a different type of plant. I'll have to get the proper name for it, but it produces these great little trumpet flowers. Obviously it was only a tiny plant, so we should see the best of it next year. I also purchased from a local nursery this Caprosma called Fireburst. It's only a little 3 litre plant. It's got its best growing to come. But what happens with these mirror plants is the colour changes in the winter to a really striking red colour. And I think next year it's a different colour, more of a green plant with orange tinges to it. But we'll see how this changes over this winter. Again with this one, these aren't totally hardy. -5 I think is the tolerance for these. -5 centigrade. Now I've got this in a pot. If this gets too cold in the winter, we can move this into the garage just so it doesn't get damaged too much. This Abelia kaleidoscope has still got flowers on the plant, little pink flowers. This has like an orange tinge to the leaves during the winter. We'll see if that changes as it gets a bit colder. But this is another great evergreen shrub. I think it's originally from Mexico, but again, really delicate leaves. If we get a hard frost, it might be defoliated. I might actually fleece it if it gets too cold. But in this area, we can get away with it. It's not that cold over winter. Maybe get a really bad frost every 10 years at that. It's against the wall as well, so hopefully that will help. Look at this campanula. It's still flowering in November. This is normally covered with purple flowers in June. But it's a welcome sight to see that it's still flowering now. It will normally give you 2 flushes of flowers. Like I said, the one in June is the best time. But round about September it puts another flush out. And it's still going, even now, 5th of November. That poppy there. Poppies come through the campanula here. I actually find these really annoying because once these are in your garden, you just cannot get rid of them. Although the flower's really nice. Look, it's come right through that campanula. Looks like I've got a bit of weeding to do. We've had the worst rain in October, I think since the 1860s. Crazy amount of rain. So it looks like I've been given quite a few new weeds over the autumn. These Hebes, I think I mention these every time I do a video, but they're just so good. When half the plants in Britain are losing the leaves, these evergreen shrubs stand out. All the different varieties. You've got the silver, you've got the albicans, got a variegated Hebe here. You've got this one as well, I think it's Magic Summer. And these pink Hebes, the colour improves the colder it gets. Of course, the only problem is these won't be totally hardy in a really bitter freeze. they might defoliate, but as a general rule I find them quite hardy in the UK. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.